The cold air blew through the high reaches of Yokai Mountain. As I flicked the flint across the stone, a single spark tore from the stone onto the tinder, and in seconds had become a roaring fire. The long trek up the mountainside had left me tired and hungry, and the fire proved good for cooking. I tore open a bag of marshmallows, placed one at the end of a skewer, and placed it over the open flame. The marshmallow popped and bubbled while I prepared the rest of the ingredients. I pulled the now browning marshmallow from the flame and placed it between a graham cracker, adorned with chocolate. Before I could allow it to chill, I felt two hands push me and someone shout, "Surprise!" I jumped in fear, unfortunately at my makeshift flame. I rolled out of the burning tinder trap, and in the confusion had my pants catch flame. The figure approached from the shadows with a large umbrella and mismatched eyes. "Oh my!" Oh wait, that's the lady's part. "Oh my!" she shouted before kicking her sandal and stomping out the flame. It was helpful but painful, as she had little control of her feet's power and placement, unfortunately landing into my groin. I barreled over in pain until her feet quelled the flame. "Oh, geez, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to catch you on fire." Her face fell full of worry. I rose up from the hard ground, my pants much lighter than before. My face reddened from embarrassment. The fire burned through both my pants and undergarments, leaving my smoking member exposed. She had an epiphany of what she had done after she caused me to combust, and a smirk rose from her face. She bent down, tossing her large umbrella to the side, and poked at my loose genitals. "Nurse Kogasa is here. Where does it hurt?" She picked up my flaccid penis and began inspecting it. The cold grip clashed with the kindled flesh and perked me to erection. "How about here?" She took a firm grip of my testes with an obvious sexual intent. Her sly naivety was fraudulent, but she seemed genuinely apologetic. As one hand worked at my junk, she picked up the freshly made s'more. Curious as to what it was, she may have misinterpreted its use as she took away both of her hands, opting to place my penis inside the well-cooked marshmallow at the center of the s'more. The sticky sugar treat enveloped my penis in a warming sandwich. At first I tried to push her away, but the feeling was ecstatic. But better than soft hands. The melted chocolate left a smear along the length of my shaft as I felt my scrotum clench. At the tip of my penis, the marshmallow swallowed my semen, barely leaving discoloration within the sandwich. "I may not be a nurse, but I'm sure you'll be fine." She rose the treat up to her lips, and she took a sizable bite out of it. The taste of coagulated salt-dodged sugar filled her mouth. My dick was left covered in leftover marshmallow and chocolate with the river a long walk away. I gathered up some torn, burned clothes in an attempt to wipe off the mess. "I think I should stay for the night. You might get some genital trauma." She tossed the last of my s'more in her mouth and swallowed it down. After wiping away the mess, I went into the tent to retrieve a spare pair of pants. The invasive Kogasa sitting on a log. I bent over to pick my pants out of my rucksack when I felt a strong kick on my back, sending me into my thin sleeping bag. "Fuck!" I exclaimed, but not before she slammed a foot to my chest. It was unneeded. The knockdown was stronger due to the rough ground and the sleeping bag, leaving me unable to stand. Her other foot had only come halfway to my chest, stopping at my genitals. She bent down like a sprinter, feet still in place, and grabbed my face by the cheeks. She began to move her back leg on my marshmallow-stained dick. The flesh was still tender from the intense heat and the fire that literally raged through my loins. Her foot did not make this enjoyable. Page 2. Man down! Man down! Medic! Oh wait, I'm right here!" she giggled, pushing me into the sleeping bag with her elbows. Both her feet firmly planted in my lap, she began to pulse herself along my body's length. Her giddy attitude was disturbing, almost sadistic, her grin tearing at her cheeks. She mulled my half-flaccid penis around with her feet, being in no way gentle or cautionary. Her rough feet stemmed from the fire she kicked out of my groin, leaving ashy marks on my marshmallow chocolate-smeared dick. My primal desires had gotten the best of me, however. I still retained my guile. While she was completely enveloped in my genitals, I gripped her by her buttocks and flipped her onto the ground.
What?
She shouted, obviously stunned.
Wait, what are you doing?
She questioned, obviously startled from the sudden upheaval. I grabbed her flailing arms and pulled them back. Quit it, dick! She Oh, I thought that was his part.
Oh my God.
She pleaded.
This isn't how this works.
It was a bit too late for that. I had her in position, her dress posing the only barrier for the imminent rape. Rape is such an ugly word. I prefer the term revenge. Revenge from the near-lethal crotch fire. Revenge for the s'more rape. Revenge for the foot rape as well. I found my way under the dress, pushing it into what felt like silk undergarment. With each thrust, I felt her squirm in the dirt, until I finally found my way past the last obstacle. A strong gas braced Kogasa as I violated her, much like she violated my s'more.
The doctor's in!
I taunted her, despite her obstruction and whimpering. I continued forth in the tight pit with her non-lubricated muscles crushing down on my member. They say revenge is a dish best served cold, but in the warm recess of Kogasa, I could disagree. With each push met with resistance, I could not gain much leeway into her, her muscles revolting against the intruding phallus. Another push, another contraction, and more pleasure. Already warmed up from the footwork Kogasa put in, I finished up inside her, surprisingly enough, having her climax as well. She lifted herself off the tent floor, pushing herself away onto my chest.
Fuck, the pleasure of being cummed inside of.
She whimpered out, her post-coital body snuggled into mine after the exhaustive and presumably painful sex. Page 2, or 3. Nevertheless, she didn't seem to have any ill will towards me, despite having a bit rough initially. The still roaring fire sat outside as I zipped up the tent, as well as the sleeping bag with Kosaga in it. The sex beast within her has been tamed. And thus concludes Smore Smut, as written by Creepy Slime.